Double kill. Triple kill. Mega kill. Monster kill. Legendary. Victory!
Playing solo queue in Epic is so easy, at least when you know what you're doing. Hello my friends! Welcome to the second episode of Road to Mythic with all heroes, where I use a different hero in every match while trying to reach Mythic in solo queue hell. While on it, I will analyze the game, tell you what went well and what not, so you can use my tricks in your next matches. Tell me which hero I should play next in the comments. I will randomly pick a comment and the chosen one will even receive a shoutout in the next episode. Since over 50% of you voted for Hanzo in my last poll, we can use him and dominate the battlefield. Or maybe not. Not today at least. We have to adjust. The bans are what you expect in Epic. Except 1-1 and Fire Emblem, none of these heroes are ban worthy. To simply prevent having a tank Layla in the team, I decided to show my Brody win rate, which is pretty good, in the hope S1 is adjusting to something more viable, which actually happened. Nice! As a bonus, I also counterpick Kadita with it, since I can easily stun or escape her when she engages. One question for you: what is the first simple trick in the draft pick phase that comes into your mind that could help you to win more games? I let you think for a second while introducing today's sponsor, which is Lords Mobile. Lords Mobile is a mobile 3D real-time strategy MMO with RPG elements. The game features large-scale siege wars, epic RPG-style hero battles against cute lizards like this fella, a kingdom-building mode where you can build your own empire, equipment crafting for your heroes, and the list goes on. So download Lords Mobile Tower Defense right now using my link in the description. Back to the topic. Now, after thinking for a moment, the simple answer is be friendly to your allies. Comment their good picks or thank them for adjusting or switching you. Trust me, that can work wonders. Here's the built-in emblem set I used in this game. Brody is one of the most powerful marksmen and a really good pick if you want to rank up fast. His early game potential is above the average marksman, with powerful pokes from his first skill and passive. I will detailedly explain how to fully utilize his potential in this game. As first item, you should get Fury Hammer. Why? I explained in my guide about the low tier items, which I will link in the end card. We got 2 enemies on the top lane, so let's play a little bit passive and maintain the distance while farming. This is the golden rule when you're on the gold lane. Pun intended. As marksmen, you need every piece of gold you can get your hands on. The 2 only important things in the first 5 minutes of the game are stay alive and get the farm from every minion wave. And don't steal the jungle creeps from the jungler, please. Staying alive is obvious, because you don't want to feed your enemy. But aside from that, you also miss at least 1 wave, which is a huge blow for your growing potential. Just stay safe all the time and play passive if you need to. The time to shine for a marksman is in the mid or late game, but only if you manage to get farmed until then. Even recalling you should avoid at all costs, unless you just cleared your wave. As you saw, I got the first kill, so I have the lead over Mia and can tell the roamer that I can solo. If I would have been able to write correctly on the phone, but Edit understood what I tried to say, I think. Mia just made a huge mistake by leaving her lane and ignoring the gold cannon. She didn't only lost a precious source of gold, but taking down an allied creep also hinders her jungler's growth. Combine these 2 together and you'll start to see the gap between the teams. Yeah, 400 gold is a huge difference in the early game. Since our jungler just killed the opposite jungler, the first turtle is super easy to take for our team. More about the rotation of a jungler when we play a jungler, which might be in the next episode. Wink wink. Now let's quickly talk about Brody's skills before moving on. Each time you hit an enemy with your basic attack, you increase your movement speed and place a mark on them. Each mark is increasing your damage and his movement speed by 5%. His first skill can place multiple marks on enemies. If you use his ultimate, he locks on all enemies within the range, and depending on how many marks an enemy has, dealing multiple times damage to them. As I said before, recalling is okay if you get back to your lane before the next minion wave arrives. In this case, it was a close call, but I made it. What happened next is a typical epical glory situation that you should never ever copy. Please! I used my ult to make Mia retreat once more to increase my gold lead. and to be safe from a 1v3 situation. For some reason, 𝐼𝐬𝐽 decided to jump headfirst into the turret, followed by 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜 who just missed all of his skills. Mia seemed confused, and I became too bloodthirsty and wasted my flicker. It becomes hard if you adapt the in-game IQ from your enemies. Still, I managed to take Mia down on the floor, and if you wonder why I chased 𝐼𝐬𝐜, if you have hit an enemy and placed any marks on them, the range of your ult will be visible, even when the enemy hides in a bush. So you can use this effect to check bushes once you're on level 4, or catch enemies who feel safe after escaping into a bush. Next, 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜 followed Mia into the grave. What a great team player. If you ever find yourself in a 1v3 situation like this, just abandon your turret. There is no way you can defend it alone, and you just keep feeding the enemy even more. This battle result ensures our dominance from the early to mid game, with the honey sweet turret gold in our pocket. Also, if you want to make a gank like 𝐼𝐬𝐜 and 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜 did, use the bushes on the battlefield to add an element of surprise. This makes your enemies react slower and increases your chances of a successful gank. Because Brody is one of the strongest marksmen when being ganked, he can stop the movement of one enemy and fall back immediately, using his enemy as a bridge to reposition himself safely. This makes his survivability so much better compared to other marksmen without escape or CC abilities. After destroying the turret and clearing the minion wave, make sure to rotate to the other lane. Keep the pressure all around the map while you're on the lead. This is one of the keys to keep snowballing. If you wondered, by the way, what I had for dinner tonight, it was fish. The turtle is respawning now. Our team has to press further, so the enemy wouldn't be able to catch up. We don't even need to set up anything special. The enemies won't have a chance to contest it. We haven't even reached the 5-minute mark yet, and the gold difference is 3,500. Things are not looking good for the enemy's team, since they keep making blunders. I know, being a tank in solo queue is a very hard job, but the main job of a tank is to cover the damage dealer, not clearing minion waves, especially when the team is very far behind in farm. Brody's ultimate also scales with the enemy's lost HP. It seems like Kadita miscalculated the damage output. Having stacks while your HP is low is suicide against Brody. Also, don't ignore the commands from your allies. If your ally tells you to retreat while recalling, you really should retreat or you might die. Next, we have a great example what is a good trade. We know 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜 and Mia are on the top lane, and they probably try to push our lane. Ruby is pushing bot, keeping the enemy's Threaderin busy. So, what would you do now? Go top to defend your lane, or stay mid and try to push the mid lane? Dum 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 dum. If you've answered stay in the mid lane, you're correct. Kadita just wasted her ultimate, so this is the green light for us to engage. And the enemies just don't stop coming, even with their gold disadvantage. This results in 3 kills for our team, and the first broken turret on the mid lane. The mid lane turrets are just way more valuable than the side lane turrets, since they open the whole jungle area for invades and ambushes. Even though we lost our top lane turret, this trade is an absolute win for our team, since we got the outer middle turret and 2 kills in our pocket. Next!
Wait a minute, hold on.
Wait, what the hell was that? Wait a second. Anyway, another blunder from the enemy's 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜. Mia has retreated already, and he keep overstaying on the front line. He forgot his real voice line is, "A real man never hides in the bush," and not, "A real man never retreats and keeps feeding." Brody is also a strong marksman when it comes to pushing turrets. Even at level 9 and only his half build, he dishes out 556 damage per hit to the turret. He can also reposition himself to safety while casting his basic attack animation. Wait a minute, I just realized we abandoned this lane for half of the game. They're just patiently yeah, this is what they're doing. Anyway, the turtle is up, but Eamon prioritized the enemy's blue buff here. Now let's take another quick quiz. Is it a good decision to ignore the turtle and taking the buff instead? I'll give you a few seconds to think about the answer. Yes, that is a correct decision made by Eamon. Since we're so far ahead in farm, adding more gold just means that we hit the limit even faster. Plus, we can wait for the Lord to spawn instead of prolonging the game. After wiping out the enemy, of course. After our team pushed all 3 lanes, this is the perfect time to capture the first Lord. The minion wave will distract the enemies from contesting the Lord. Mia shows up on the mid lane alone. Let's wish her a happy birthday and make a surprise. Well, that's one fast celebration. Now the party is over. We need to get back to work and help Aemon on the top. 𝐾𝐲𝐬𝐽 could have been saved if he flickered into the bush. This will shorten the distance to his teammate, who could cover him. Even if he's dead, he can at least bring Aemon or me down and claim the shutdown. After killing Tick and get away with the extra movement speed, Aemon took his chance to go for another kill. With Nana and Eder to the rescue, our team easily steamrolled the enemies and wiped them to the ground. Our Ruby is a chat. She took the turret damage so our Lord stays healthy till the base. Or she stood on the way to the minions under the turret rage. But nah, her effort comes to fruition because the enemy minions stuck inside of the base. This action alone gives our team leeway to push the enemy's middle turret. Kadita seems to lose all hope and just blindly charges into a 2v4 teamfight, forgetting about our team comp with 4 stoppers ready at her throat. If she just would have watched the first episode of this series, where I explained how Kadita works. If you haven't noticed the combos of Brody yet, let me point them out for you. Apply as many marks on the enemy as possible, especially with your first skills while minions are around, and activate your ult to blast them away. Another one against squishy enemies will be using your second skill, and if necessary your flicker for a surprise, use your first skill and blast them away with your ult again. This game was super one-sided simply because we got the upper hand in the early game, and the enemies kept fighting us. As promised, you should watch the low tier item guide now, because using these items will greatly benefit you in the early game. You can of course also check out the playlist of the Road to Mythic with all Heroes series. See you over there!